Today, I want to share with you an extraordinary story about Cara Marlene, a woman whose life was forever changed by a profound experience at a very young age. Cara's journey is one of love, loss, and a remarkable encounter with the divine, and it all began when she was just 8 years old. Her story is not only captivating but also deeply inspiring, showing us the incredible resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love. Let's dive into Cara's life and the events that shaped her into the person she is today. Cara Marlene hails from a tiny town in Kansas, a place with a population of just 500 people. She grew up on a ranch just outside this small community, surrounded by wide open spaces and the simplicity of rural life. As a child, Cara was full of energy and creativity, traits that would later define her as an adult. Today, she lives in Dallas, Texas, where she nurtures her passions as a singer and writer, often blending her love for blues and classic country music into her work. But long before she found herself in the bustling city of Dallas, Cara's life took a dramatic turn on a seemingly ordinary spring day. It was a beautiful day in Kansas, the kind of day that beckons children outdoors to play. Cara, then just 8 years old, was riding her bicycle alongside her little sister near their family's ranch. The ranch was a sprawling property, complete with a barn and a large garage that her father, who owned a construction company, used as a tool shed. As the day wore on, one of Cara's older sisters called out from inside the house, urging her and her younger sibling to come in. But Cara, full of youthful exuberance, decided she wanted one more ride on her bike. She noticed a gouge in the cement block at the base of the garage door, a small lip meant to keep water out. To her young mind, it looked like the perfect ramp for a daring jump. The family home sat atop a hill, and Cara pedaled down with determination, aiming for that makeshift ramp. But when her bike hit the bump, everything went wrong in an instant. The bike stopped abruptly, and Cara was thrown over the handlebars. In that split second, as she was airborne, something extraordinary happened. Cara's awareness expanded in a way she couldn't have understood at the time. It was as if she became one with everything around her, enveloped in a protective bubble. She hit the ground hard, and though she heard the impact from what felt like a distance, the sensation was oddly detached. She heard her own body crumple and let out a sigh before everything faded to black. When Cara came to, she found herself lying on her back, staring at a blinding light streaming through the garage door, surrounded by darkness. Immediately, she knew something was terribly wrong. Her body felt immobilized, as if pinned under an immense weight of thousands of kilograms. Though she couldn't move, she could see and speak, her eyes fixed on the light at the garage door, where she noticed a figure standing. Unable to discern if it was male or female, or even its age, Cara assumed it was her 5-year-old sister who had been outside with her. Desperately, she called out, pleading for help, saying she couldn't get up and needed her parents. But the figure didn't move. Frustrated and scared, Cara's tone grew more urgent, warning that their mom and dad would be angry if help didn't come soon. As she spoke, Cara's awareness deepened, and she began to take in her surroundings more keenly. She stopped speaking and looked around at the darkness framing the light. It wasn't the familiar garage she expected to see, with its ceiling and walls lined with tools. Instead, it was an endless void, like the vast blackness of space stretching on forever. Yet despite this realization, she felt grounded, as stable as if she were sitting in a chair. Peering into the light, Cara tried to focus beyond it, expecting to see the sky or the cattle trailer outside. But there was nothing, only light and darkness. It dawned on her then that she was no longer in her family's home. Am I dead? Is this heaven? In that moment, something within her, a deep, endless well of love, opened up. It wasn't just a feeling. It was as if love itself filled every part of her being, connecting her to everything. As she absorbed the light, the darkness, and this overwhelming love, Cara realized there was no fear. Fear couldn't exist in this space. She simply basked in the purity of the moment, feeling a peace beyond comprehension. But the voice wasn't external. It resonated within her, asking, "Are you ready?" In the seconds that followed, a brief life review flashed through her mind. She thought of her dogs, her family, knowing they were okay. But the most powerful realization was that this was love, and wherever it was leading her, she was ready to follow. Without hesitation, Cara said yes. As she surrendered to this love, she felt herself falling deeper into it, mind, body, and soul. The space grew darker, and she sensed a transition, crossing from a place where fear couldn't exist back to one where it could. It was then that she returned to her physical body. Hours later, Cara woke up on the couch in her family's home, covered with a blanket. It was late afternoon, nearing evening, when she found herself speaking to her mother. Confused, she stopped mid-sentence and asked, "Mom, what am I doing here?" "Where am I?" Her mother, puzzled by the questions, didn't understand why Cara was so disoriented. Trying to explain what had happened, Cara was met with confusion. At one point, she held a mirror in her hand and tilted it to see her face. What she saw made her scream. A massive, dark contusion on her head, swollen like half a large lemon or orange, protruding grotesquely on her small second-grader's face. When Cara's mother finally took her to the doctor, the severity of the situation became clear. The doctor, who had cared for all 8 of Cara's mother's children, was shocked and reprimanded her mother for not bringing Cara in immediately. He emphasized how serious the injury was, stating that Cara shouldn't even be alive. He warned that if she ever sustained a similar hit to that area of her head again, it would be fatal. The injury was identified as blunt force trauma to her right temporal lobe, and for a long time, Cara was restricted from physical activities. She couldn't play as freely as before, a difficult adjustment for such a social and active child. Physically, the recovery was slow and challenging. Cara recalls a moment in her second-grade classroom when, without thinking, she attempted a cartwheel alongside her cousin or a friend. The action left her dizzy, and she fell to the floor. Her teacher, Mrs. Durrett, a kind and gentle woman, was upset, ensuring Cara was okay with ice and care, but also sent a note home pinned to her sweater to inform her mother of the incident. Cara was essentially on lockdown until the doctors were confident her injury had healed sufficiently. Academically, the effects of the injury lingered. Before the accident, Cara had been an excellent student. But starting in 3rd grade, her grades dropped noticeably. It wasn't until much later, while reflecting on her school records in college, that she connected the dots. The trauma had impacted her reading comprehension and math skills. Though she could still learn, she became an auditory learner, retaining information better through listening than reading. Her mother noted that Cara rarely brought books home, a behavior that puzzled her at the time. Unfortunately, no one pieced together the connection between the injury and her learning challenges until Cara was older. Despite these struggles, something beautiful emerged from Cara's near-death experience. Spiritually and personally, she became, in her own words, walking love. Always a social butterfly, Cara had been enrolled in school early by her mother, who believed she was ready, making her nearly a year younger than her peers. After the accident, her connection to nature and animals deepened profoundly. Growing up on a ranch with no city nearby, the vast outdoors felt like the only place her soul truly fit. It mirrored the boundless oneness she had experienced during her near-death encounter. Under the stars and an open sky, Cara could breathe freely, feeling that endless love surrounding her. This experience also transformed how Cara interacted with people. She wanted to love everyone, to share the overwhelming sense of love she felt, to befriend everyone. She couldn't comprehend conflict or why people argued when love was everywhere, if only they could see it. Balancing this perspective was challenging at times. especially in a family environment that wasn't always supportive. Cara often found herself alone, but she turned these moments of isolation into opportunities for meditation and prayer. This solitude strengthened her connection with what she calls the divine, whether you name it God, Gaia, or simply love. It became a beautiful relationship that allowed her to slip into a sacred inner space, a dwelling place where she could ask questions and find answers. Cara's life after the accident became a love story with the divine, marked by what she describes as fingerprints of love. Undeniable moments where love showed up in tangible ways. One such manifestation was her premonitions about the deaths of loved ones. As a child, she had an uncanny sense of when loss was near. The first instance involved a cow on the ranch in labor, struggling terribly. Despite others dismissing her concern, Cara knew the cow wouldn't survive, and she was right. This foresight continued with the passing of her grandmother, a family friend, and a brother-in-law. Each time, an inner voice, love itself, guided her to say goodbye before the loss occurred. These experiences solidified her bond with love, deepening her trust in its presence. Beyond premonitions, Cara also experienced moments she now recognizes as energetic healings, which set her on a path of spiritual exploration before she even graduated high school. However, this openness to love also left her vulnerable to hurt. As an empath, a term she didn't know as a child but understands now, Cara felt others' emotions intensely. She couldn't fathom why people acted with distance or cruelty, and she often tried to help them, wanting to introduce them to the love she knew. This led to difficulties, especially after high school, as she navigated relationships with people who didn't share her perspective. Over time, though, she came to understand why these interactions were challenging and learned to balance her empathy with self-protection. Cara's story took another turn when she channeled her experiences into creative and communal outlets. She wrote a book titled Meant for Miracles, a testament to her belief in the miraculous nature of life and love. Additionally, she organized the Truth Tellers Conference in Dallas, Texas, scheduled for February 20th through 21st in 2026. This event, hosted by Cara alongside other speakers who have had near-death experiences and miraculous healings, aims to bring people together to share their truths and find transformation. With keynote speakers like Scott Drummond, Vinnie Tolman, Jeff Olson, and Barbara Bardo, the conference is a space for connection and inspiration. Cara offers an early bird special for $129, with a special discount code reducing general admission to $99 and VIP access to $200, details of which can be found on her website, Cara Marlene. Reflecting on Cara's journey, it's clear that her near-death experience at 8 years old reshaped her entire existence. From the moment she was pronounced dead for approximately 45 minutes, to the medical interventions where her heart was paddled back to life, Cara's perspective on life shifted. During those critical minutes, while others around her screamed and cried, she was elsewhere, enveloped in absolute love and peace, greeted by familiar souls from her past. She felt incredibly safe, as if she had returned home. This profound sense of belonging and love stayed with her, guiding her through the challenges of recovery and beyond. Cara's encounter with that mysterious figure at the garage door, which she believes was love itself taking a form familiar enough for an 8-year-old to relate to, taught her that love meets us exactly where we need it. It wasn't an angel, a guide, or a family member, but a presence so comforting that fear couldn't exist. This realization shaped her understanding of love and fear as opposing forces. Cara came to see that in the human experience, we have the choice to live through love or fear. While healthy fear keeps us safe, like not petting an alligator, unnecessary fear and doubt can dominate if we let them. But in the afterlife, or in moments of pure connection with the divine, only love remains. One of the most striking aspects of Cara's story is her brief life review during those moments outside her body. As an 8-year-old, her concerns were simple: her dogs, her little sister, her family. There wasn't much to reflect on, yet the overwhelming presence of love made it clear that wherever it led, she was ready to follow. When the figure asked if she was ready, Cara interpreted it as an invitation to follow love, wherever that might be. Surprisingly, she returned to her body, though she wonders if a piece of that journey remains hidden in her memory, perhaps to be uncovered later in life through meditation or reflection. Back in the physical world, Cara faced the reality of her injuries and the long road to recovery. The blunt force trauma had lasting effects on her academic performance, but it couldn't dim the spiritual awakening she experienced. Her life became a pursuit of love, a mission to share it with others, even when it opened her up to pain. As an empath, she felt deeply for those around her, sometimes to her detriment, but this only fueled her desire to connect others with the love she knew so intimately. Today, Cara continues to spread her message of hope and transformation through her music, her writing, and events like the Truth Tellers Conference. She wants everyone to know that they are miraculous, meant for miracles, and surrounded by a love that holds the universe together. The odds of each person existing, 14 trillion to 1, are staggering, a reminder of the magic in every moment. Cara's wish is for everyone to see their own beauty and strength, to hear the call of love, and to understand that they are here for a reason, whether they're thriving or searching for answers. Cara Marlene's story is a testament to the power of love to heal, transform, and guide us through life's darkest moments. From a near-fatal bicycle accident on a Kansas ranch to a life dedicated to sharing her truth in Dallas, Cara embodies the idea that we are all walking miracles. Her journey reminds us that love is always near, waiting for us to embrace it, and that even in our most challenging times, we are never alone. As she continues to sing her bluesy tunes and write her heartfelt stories, Cara invites us all to listen for that inner voice of love, and to live a life full of miracles.